I guess I would ask you, and that is, did you serve during wartime yourself?
As my son said in an interview from Iraq, I don't know how he got on the radio back from Iraq, but he he was asked a question about me. Did I serve in the service? My son's comment said, he said, yeah, he was a tweener, which meant I was between Vietnam and Korea, or Korea and Vietnam. So I was in the Cold War kind of era, but we had some very close calls and I was involved in a couple of them. One had to do with the missile crisis in 1962 down in Florida.
Oh, goodness.
And the other one dealt with up in 1961 up in the Arctic Circle, where we were very close to going to war with the Soviets at that point.
Yeah, well, we actually have a picture of Alaska. Would you say that in that picture is an area where you served, where a lot of the potential to go to war with Russia, that's where you were, that was the ground that you stood upon?
Among the other incidents that comes with the environment of living in 31 degrees below zero kind of stuff and working in some very top secret environments, we had a mission. I can speak about this now because of the time. But
it's declassified.
Yeah, and there were several of them that occurred earlier that I was not part of, but this one was pretty close. We had sent a transport out of Point Barrow along the Soviet coast, and our mission was to verify for our own information what the response time was, how fast could the Soviets respond to an aircraft that had entered into their airspace. Right. And they didn't show any reason to think that they weren't prepared. So the aircraft, this is the international date line here, and the island I was on was right here. And as soon as they picked up our aircraft, which was loaded with electronic equipment three MiG-15s, I think it was at the time. It wasn't the MiG-17s. The MiG-15s came out of Vladivostok in the blink of an eye, and they were going after this C-123, which didn't have enough power to get it out of its own way, to be honest with you. Oh. So we broke radio silence and told them to get the hell out of there, because the MiG-15s were right on their tail, and they were looking for permission to blow it out of the sky. I was doing the Morse code in the command room. Right. They took me out of the operations room and put me in the command center. That stuff was coming back. It was coming through so quickly, it's almost impossible to copy it. Right. But I did. And so broke radio silence. So the 123 came in for a straight-in approach to some secret location off the coast of Alaska, down in the Aleutian chain. So, and the MiGs just turned back and went back to Vladivostok. And there was no incident, but John Kennedy was awakened at 3 o'clock in the morning that night, expecting that we were going to have, some casualty. So I was pretty proud of being part of that. They had selected me. There were 11 guys in the operations room, and they picked me. I'm only 18, barely. But I was very good at this Morse code for some reason. I just took to it,